Hello and welcome to this course, How to Get the Most Out of Your Therapy. I want to tell you a little bit about how this course came to be. For many years, since 1996, I have been teaching hypnotherapy and at the same time conducting hypnotherapy sessions for clients. So education and therapy are fundamentally two different activities, but in some way they complement one another. So two things happened that together motivated the creation of this course. One was that for all these years, I would ask all of my students, and we've had over 3,000 students, I would ask them what motivated them to take the class, the hypnotherapy class. This is a class that we offer for people who want to become professional hypnotherapists. So it's a certification course, and presumably everybody who's there is there to become a professional hypnotherapist, and yet that's not what we would find. About half of the students actually would tell me that they were there to learn more about therapy as a whole and to learn more about themselves. So they were kind of using the certification course, the professional hypnotherapy course, as a pseudo-therapy, in other words, to understand myself. I would always tell them that perhaps there are other venues for them to achieve the same goal, perhaps more effectively, but of course they are welcome to take the class, to take the course, and to receive a diploma and so forth. So that always frustrated me a little bit because I figured that there has to be a better way to help to either understand the process of therapy itself in case they were looking to go into therapy themselves, or the idea of understanding themselves. And yet I could find no course, no class that was specifically directed towards that goal. So that was one idea. On the other hand, for a similar number of years, clients in therapy would often express to me, well, I don't know how this works. I don't know how therapy works. I would make some sort of comment, and oftentimes I would hear, well, I don't know how this works. I don't know what I'm supposed to do in therapy. Eventually, those two things came together, and I realized that there's a need for people to understand therapy so they can consume the service of therapy more effectively. In other words, so they can be better consumers of the service and therefore derive a greater benefit from the process. And this way, those people who are contemplating receiving therapy services wouldn't have to take a certification class, which entails a whole bunch of other materials that they have to learn when they're really not interested in that. They're interested in learning more about therapy and about themselves. That's what motivated the creation of this course. We're going to be discussing a number of ideas from the perspective of the person who's potentially in therapy or contemplating receiving therapy for any number of purposes. So I think we're going to have a good time together, and as we proceed, you're going to realize that in some ways, and once we prepare the course, I realized that in some way, it almost seems that the course itself functions as a huge therapy in of itself, because we're going to touch on many points that you're going to find useful for your own development, for your own healing. Let's get started. And I'm glad you're here. Welcome.